Hola, YouTube world. How are you guys doing and feeling? We are today, Tuesday, October 29th, 2019. It is noon. It's actually 12:30, so it's pretty hot, but I had to beat the sun because it was actually cloudy this morning and a little cool. So I knew that by noon the sun was going to pick, but I also know that it's not going to stay because it's like it goes in and out. So I'm guessing that by 2:33 it's going to be cloudy. So I wanted to come in and I wanted to film. The gardener hasn't been able to come because I think he lives outside of Port-au-Prince. He's like in Gracier. So he hasn't come for maybe a 2 weeks, a little bit since probably, yeah, since September. No, since the beginning of October. So the flowers are all over the place. For today, for today, I feel pretty good actually. I've been feeling really good lately. I've been feeling very good. I think it's just the fact that I'm not letting myself get consumed with everything that's going on. And I actually have a lot going on in terms of my personal work, like a lot of developments with my work, a lot of things to do, a lot of things to prepare for 2020, a lot of contracts coming up for 2020 for November, like a lot of stuff coming up for me. And I feel like I'm on point. I feel like mentally I'm where I need to be. Actually, today I felt like I wanted to drink, but I've been drinking the entire month of October. I've been having wine. The supermarket is actually closed. I probably would have gone and got me some wine. My god sister has not made anything for me just yet. And I still have like my bottle of champagne that was gifted to me, but I don't feel like popping it up. I think I want to pop it up for December. So, yeah. So we're we're drinking some cool water for today. So, what are we going to talk about? So, for today, I actually, I didn't really want to talk about any topic related to Haiti. I had, even when I woke up, I wasn't really in the mood for that. So, we're going to go a little ease. It's the end of the year, so I'm not so sure. I'll probably post these videos for you like around December. And I wanted to talk about 10 things that made 2019 an excellent year for myself. Did I say that to you guys, or was I saying that? I think in some of the videos that I filmed for you, I kept mentioning that. I think I mentioned that for my, like, 2019 has been an excellent year for me in in almost all areas. In almost all areas, even in the area that I felt like I had a little bump in it, I was able to pick myself up pretty good and pretty fast. So I'm pretty proud of myself, okay? And I just felt like, okay, well, let's talk about and let's put out 10 reasons that I felt 2019 was by far a total excellent year for myself. So the first thing that I wrote down is that I focused on myself. Yes, that was the ultimate purpose for me to come to Haiti. It was to focus on self, it was to focus on work, it was to have a clear sense of direction, and I was able to do that. I said that my goals and my objectives were my focus. That's it. You know, it was one of the reasons that I feel like it was thus far a very very successful year. My eyes were on target. The second thing I wrote down is, oh my god, are you guys liking the setup? I like this little setup. I feel like I look good. How do I look? Okay, let's continue. Second thing that I wrote down is I mind the business that paid me. Uh-huh. I stayed focused on what I knew was going to contribute to my future. So that's the business that I mind. That was my focus for 2019. It was not nobody. It was not no drama. It was not no family drama. It's just the business that paid me, which was focusing on developing myself, my projects, and my future. That was my goal. Focus on the business that pays you. Focus on self development, the projects that you want to bring forward, and your future. Third, I kept myself grounded. Even when I felt down, I managed to bring myself to a positive level. I did a lot of activities that I enjoyed, as small as journaling and all taking a walk. As you know, I stayed in Haiti for nearly a year, so I was really unable to do the activities that I mostly enjoy, which is really going out into the countryside. It was really impossible to do something like that this year. So I did small things, small things. I watched a lot of like videos that were uplifting. I found a lot of channels that really contributed to my self development. I wrote a lot. I literally am on my third journal. So I journaled a lot, my feelings, my thoughts, things that I wanted to see for the future. And I did things that I felt like just for Haiti, like, okay, I can't do much. I went to the salon as often as possible. I got myself a massage. I got people to come here to give me massage. I tried different hairstyles. I went with different hair color, just small things, anything that to me were uplifting. I walked every afternoon around here, just anything that I felt that could rebalance me. I really stayed grounded, right? So, four, I said I remain observant and quiet for most of the year. Yes. Um, Last year was even worse. Last year, I removed myself from all social media. I removed myself from all talking from anybody, and I took the year off to myself. This year, I interacted with people. I did. However, for the most part, I just remain observant. When you are quiet and when you observe, you gain a lot more insight into how other people are thinking, are moving, are feeling, or, just anything. So this year was also the focus. It was to be on my very, very much so observant mode. Okay. Five, I reminded myself constantly of my whys, such as, why am I in Haiti? What am I looking for? What do I desire? There were moments in February and June where I just was feeling blah, where I just felt like, oh my God, like, is that really what you want? Do you really want to be in Haiti? And in those moments, I took the time to remind myself of my whys. Like, why did you come to Haiti in the first place? It wasn't like a spur of the moment type of thing, as if you really had nothing to focus on. It was because you knew that you wanted to be here, and you knew that things were about to pop and change, and you were like, excuse me, and you were like, no, I'm going to be here, I'm going to take my spot, and I'm going to dominate the goddamn country. That was just the thing. So I kept this as a focus a lot. I kept telling myself and reminded myself of my whys. Why are you doing this? Why this and that? So, number 6, I smiled as much as possible and reminded myself of my many, 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 many bad blessings. There were some bumps in the roads. January, I feel like February and March were the toughest year for me because I was seriously low on cash. I had to budget a lot more than I desired. And I felt like during those times, what helped me to gain back my focus is that I reminded myself of my blessings. I reminded myself of how much many people are unable to do what I'm doing. Many people are unable, don't have this blessing to be literally I stayed home for an entire year, enriched myself, was able to take time off for a whole year, and was able to support myself as well, and had the contribution and the loving of great families around me, great friends, so I kept smiling every time I thought about that, every time I thought about my sunshine, my home, my home setting, my family. I was extremely grateful for the simplest thing of life, for the simplest thing, to have cash flow. I kept being really grateful for that and kept smiling. So, number 7, I say, I trust. Are we here? Yeah. Number 7, I say, I trusted my faith and spiritual beliefs, knowing they will lead me to my greatest desires. I am not going to preach you about religion. However, if you've been with me for a long time, you do understand and you do know that I have high spiritual beliefs. And I feel like your spirituality or religion, however you choose to live your life, just believing in a higher force and higher powers is going to give you that courage, is going to ground you, is going to give you that focus, because we are human, so you're not going to be feeling good every day. There were moments where I felt like I had everything, like I had money, I had this, but I was not feeling good. And there are moments like that, otherwise we would never had billionaires who kill themselves, right? Especially in a country like the United States, where people focus so much on material stuff, but then it's like your emotional, your spiritual, your inside, it's empty, so you don't feel good. And a lot of times, like in countries like Haiti, people have very little in terms of materialistic things, yet they feel super happy. It is because of that. Our spiritual beliefs is strong. We understand where we're coming from. We understand why we do certain things. Like, this is one of the reasons that when I, in my past videos, I always tell you guys that, different frequency and different vibe in the air. It's funny how a lot of times we leave our countries to go elsewhere and we're not understanding that it's a whole different type of energy. Even within, like, it doesn't even have to be that, it could just be like we're going to different countries in the Caribbean, and it's different, right? So having my spiritual beliefs, that helped me a lot. That helped me a lot to just stay put, to just stay kind of like grounded. So 8, I say, I remained in harmony with the people I live with, spreading love and joy, overlooking whatever annoyed and upset me. Living and cohabitating with family members or with anyone is just never like 100%. When you live with other people, you have to know their ways, you have to know how they think. In the past, living with my family was rather a little difficult. One of the major reasons was because I was growing, so they really were not accustomed to the woman that I was becoming, and I just needed a lot of space. So what I did was I just really never interacted with them. I would always be by myself. I would either be in my room or just never talk to them. So I'm probably sure that they probably thought otherwise. They probably felt like, I didn't want to be around them, or, I was this and that. But it was just because it was like a very odd time in my life, and I needed to kind of like grow up and figure me out. So this year was different because I'm comfortable in who I am. I'm comfortable in my beliefs. I'm comfortable in the work that I'm doing. It's like a very grounded, grown and sexy type of like person. So of course, I set up time to work. I set up time to be by myself, but I also can interact with my parents. I also can interact with people who live here, with other people. They see me often. So there was a time when my parents never led their eyes on me in the house, like they just never did. But this year is better. Like, you see, I went to work with them. I actually went out with them. If my father needs to go somewhere, I go with him. So it was like spreading love. And no, it's not always great. Sometimes they do annoy me, and sometimes my mother doesn't understand that I need my space. But still, I overlooked these things, and just it was a more harmonious year in the household as well. So number 9, I say, I set up clear boundaries in all areas of my life for self protection and peace of mind. Now, there were times where I needed my peace of mind. There were times, especially my aunt stayed with us for probably like 4 months from March till June. And my aunt can be, especially she's not entering, she just turned 78. So, around that age, sometimes, the person might be, just a little like weird. If you've never dealt with old people, they get like that. And a lot of times it's kind of like, I feel like she also is looking back into her life. So I lived with her in the States. So, in the States, we had this like, I'm going to say we had this pretty toxic relationship because it's like 1 minute we'll be like all tied up and the next minute we'll be at each other's throat. And this year I didn't want to do that with her. This year I really didn't want to do that. I needed my peace. So what I did, I just set up a lot of boundaries. I was always polite, say good morning, auntie, did you eat? Did you do that? Did you do that? But that was it. I never opened a window for us to argue. I never opened a window for me to be like snappy. It was just like clear boundaries. Yes, we can talk. No, I'm busy. No, I have things to do. No, I actually have work to do. Right. So, number 10, I said I did my very best to release whatever was out of my control. And this is also probably why October has been really, really great, because it's kind of like I felt like, in the beginning year, so around February, as well as in the summertime, were some of my biggest anxiety months, because I kept asking myself, like, I was looking a lot more at what I wanted to accomplish, what I wanted to do, and the fact that I didn't see a way for me to do these things. So what I've worked on starting September, I just focus on what I had. Kind of like being in the present. It's tough for me to do that. It's really, really tough for me to be in the present. I actually have to train myself to do something like that. So that's what I did. I kind of like focus on being in the present. Focus on, okay, what can you do? What do you have at your disposition? What do I have at my disposition? What do I have at my hands? What can I focus on? And you know what? And just release everything else. Everything else, I just kind of like release that. So this is my tips to you. These are the 10 things that made 2019 an excellent year for me. I hope you guys are going to learn a lot from this video, and I hope that you're going to enter 2020 with a fierce disposition. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I will see you in the next.